measuring success is the belt. So the road to success is a lot. You know what I'm saying? And if you let yourself go too much, you get up here. You know what I mean? You get way up here, and then you lose track of so much. You lose track of all the sacrifices and the opportunities. So I try to stay as grounded as possible. So if you know what I mean, I try to just think to myself like, okay, you know what? The goal isn't right now. The goal is to be a UFC champion. The goal is a UFC champion. The goal is so I just constantly repeat that. So I repeat that to myself. So I try to be a level above my mentality.
Buddy, welcome back to Outside the Stadium. Here with us today is Ode Osbourne. He is going to be competing at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden in a couple of weeks, November 6th, against CJ Vergara. Ode, how's it going?
It's going well, man. It's going well. How about you?
Can't complain. It's a little bit later for me than it is for you, but neither here nor there. So first of all, we just spoke. You moved to Syndicate MMA, and this is going to be your first training camp with them. How do you feel? How was training camp, and how do you feel going into this fight? I mean, not to put the pressure on you, but you're at this point, you're scheduled to lead off this gigantic card in Madison Square Garden. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Am I the first fight on the card or the second fight?
So right now, you're scheduled to be the first fight on the card. I don't know.
Perfect.
If you add something else. I'm not sure. They usually change last minute.
Yeah, I have not even looked at the card yet, to be honest with you. I've just been, like I said, since I've moved out here, I've been completely dialed in on training and everything else. I haven't got a chance to really take a breath to myself to, focus on the card or anything like that. Just, but I feel good, man. The coaching staff at Syndicate is amazing. Frank Mir is one of the coaches out there. John Wood, the head coach. John is an amazing head coach. Forrest Griffin, Frank Hickman. This is just a great body of coaches, and the people that I get to train with, Marab, Vincent, Sterling will come out every once in a while. Like just an amazing group of guys that I get to train with. And so I feel great.
I mean, yeah, it's just hearing you say that. It's only been, 2 months since we saw you, but it sounds like we're going to see an entirely new fighter when you step in the octagon. So
for sure,
I have to ask you because, you made a name for yourself on Dana White's Contender Series with an armbar submission, and you got your first UFC win with basically a straight left hand knockout over Jerome Rivera. You're a pretty well-rounded fighter. Do you go into these fights and pick, hey, I have the advantage here, I'm going to focus on the feet, or I'm going to try to take it to the ground, or is it just flow?
It's just flow, man. Wherever the fight goes, I try to be good everywhere. I work enough jiu-jitsu, I work enough wrestling, and I work enough stand-up. So I try to be well-rounded, like you said. I try not to be that character in the video game with 70 power and 20 grappling. You know what I'm saying? I try to have just a general well-rounded bar.
Sweet. So I mean, I just have to ask, by the way, on that note, how did it feel? How did it feel stepping into the octagon? You were coming off a loss in your first appearance of the UFC, and you just go in and you finish the fight in about 30 seconds in the best style possible. How'd that feel?
It honestly felt amazing. It was a great feeling, and I didn't know that was going to happen, to be honest, because that's the thing. I think who's touched on that? Who just touched on that? Shevchenko actually said this recently. She said, you don't go into a fight looking for the knockout. Everything should just come. You know what I mean? Because if you game plan too much and your game plan doesn't go accordingly, then you get that oh shit moment. Like, oh shit, we worked on this all camp and it didn't work. Now what? You know what I'm saying? So you want to just be able to be, good everywhere. Wherever the fight goes, you want to be ready. I try to just keep my emotions in check and stay grounded. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, it's like the road to success, measuring success is the belt. So the road to success is a lot. You know what I'm saying? And if you let yourself go too much, you get up here. You know what I mean? You get way up here, and then you lose track of so much. You lose track of all the sacrifices and the opportunities. So I try to stay as grounded as possible. So if I, you know what I mean, I try to just think to myself like, okay, you know what, the goal isn't right now. The goal is to be a UFC champion. The goal is a UFC champion. The goal is so I just constantly repeat that. So I repeat that to myself. So I try to be a level above my mentality.
I love that. And I mean, you just mentioned it. Your goal is to be UFC champion, and the flyweight division is absolutely stacked right now. I mean, maybe you didn't get the result you wanted, but you were just in the ring with Manel Kopp, who was just in the ring with Alexandra Pantoja, who's right up there. Where do you see yourself in this flyweight division right now? Looking forward, obviously you don't want to look past this fight. It's one fight at a time. But where do you see your trajectory going from here? Are you jumping up the rankings, or are you taking your time to get used to fighting in syndicate and developing your skills? Because you're young, you got time.
I do have time, and I see myself right now just being in the moment. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to visualize too much on the future because the future hasn't happened yet. You want to be just right here. So where I see myself right now is I don't see myself anywhere yet until I get, I knock a couple wins off at the flyweight division. Um, I think I believe in my abilities, and I believe that I have one of the best striking game in the flyweight division. But at the same time, I don't believe that um that I deserve to be ranked yet because I haven't won a fight at flyweight. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure, for
Until
sure.
I win, then I deserve. Until I win a certain amount that I should win, then I deserve to be ranked, or then I deserve the things that I do deserve. But a lot of people, man, they're like, oh, I deserve this and I deserve that, but hasn't done shit in the game. I'm not one of those people. I know I haven't done anything in the game yet, so I don't deserve any of that yet.
That's very, very honest, and I love to hear that. They say that you'll succeed when preparation meets opportunity. So if you stay grounded and if you're ready, I think that's going to be the road to success. And usually I would ask a fighter. I love asking this question. I always say, like, tell us something. We see you compete in the octagon. Tell us something that the fans don't know about you. But looking at your Instagram description, it is like it is a colorful loaded rainbow. Could you explain some of this stuff? Assistant teacher, crypto enthusiast, Gorilla Diamond ambassador, first responders, board of directors. Who are you outside of the cage?
I am a lot outside the cage, because I want to be able to give back to the community. I don't want to just be somebody that just is a professional fighter, because being a professional fighter, it's nothing at the end of the day. It's nothing. It's just all that fame and money or whatever. It's nothing. What is all of it if you don't have anything to contribute? We're all on this planet to contribute to the world, to help each other. Each one teach one, right? That's the saying. So yeah, man, something that a lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually building a school right now with Gorilla Diamond team in Jamaica. So the Gorilla Diamond team and I, we're creating a school in 2022. So we're gonna have our first school build. Um, don't have all the information yet, but we're gonna get all that stuff laid out. We're just doing the blueprint right now. But as for first responders, it's the first responders thing. I'm on the first responders board of directors. Where we create these devices that help put out fires without anybody being inside the building. So it's like a grenade. You throw it in the building, and first responders are usually the first ones. Like police officers, are usually the first ones to get to a fire. It's not a fire truck or anything like that. So they're small enough to where a police officer can get, can carry it on their belt. They show up at a fire, they throw it in the building, and it releases this gas that just neutralizes the fire. So, saving lives on that end, trying to educate people on one end. And then the crypto, I'm a huge crypto nerd. If you look at my Twitter, it's all just crypto. I don't even post anything about fighting. I never tweet about fighting ever. It's just crypto.
No, that's
I'm a big crypto nerd. So a lot, there's a lot that people can know about me.
so just really quickly before we move on, what is your opinion on Matip?
On which one?
Matip.
Oh, the crypto method.
Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah.
just like anything, man. I think the market right now is primal. So everything goes from, is a flow off of Bitcoin. And I think once Bitcoin breaks 85K, Mativ and all that, all the crypto is just gonna go, they're all gonna explode because only 4% of the world is into crypto. That's not a lot at all. 4% is into crypto. If you ask me, I think personally, Mativ is awesome. And banks are a jail for your money. If you have a bunch of money and you put it in a bank account, the interest you gain in a year is crap. You put it into crypto and you're doubling, tripling your money. It's like, what? But they don't tell us this because banks want us to put our money into banks. Not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and that's not financial advice. That's what they all say. But that's what I do. I believe in non-centralized way of making money because banks they're central. Nobody knows in theory how much money a bank has. It's all secret, but everybody knows what goes on in the crypto space because everything is public. Everything's public. If I buy 1,000 Bitcoin, everyone knows not that I bought the 1,000 Bitcoin, but that somebody, it shows a long serial number that somebody bought 1,000 Bitcoin. So it's what I'm saying? It's all public and it's all fair. It can't be corrupted or manipulated or anything like that. So that's what I love about that aspect. Everyone has an equal chance or an equal opportunity. I came from a country like Jamaica where it's very poor, impoverished country. So banks, not a lot of people have bank accounts. I'll say maybe 10% of Jamaicans have bank accounts because it's the jobs and stuff aren't sustainable. So it's pointless to have a bank account. It's pointless to have a savings or a check-ins because you're not making that much money. Now, if you were to be able to trade your goods, your crops, your animals, your farm for crypto and have a fair standing, then it's going to be much easier for society to get ahead in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it levels the playing field.
100%. I mean, it makes everything a bit more interconnected. Just because you're in Jamaica doesn't mean you can't tap into the same financial market as somebody in Europe, as somebody in the United States. And I mean, to the fans listening, there's your 1 to 2 minute ad. Go follow Ode on Twitter. He could be your new crypto personality. And I don't want to gloss over what you said earlier because I hear from a lot of people, just friends, colleagues, people that, oh, I want to give back, but I haven't made a name for myself yet. I haven't done enough yet. I don't have the means to give back yet. I love that you're really just getting started, but you're giving back on your journey. You're building a school. You're on the board of directors for the first responders. There's no better time to give back than now, and I think that's extremely admirable. I think it speaks a lot about your character and your will, and that's going to translate into the octagon. So first of all, kudos to you on that front.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. That's what it's all about. Everybody is all about themselves. Me. And we're not enough about what can we do for other people? How can we help other people? I think the world would be a much better place if, a lot of people will say that's hippy dippy shit, but the people that say that are the ones who are selfish. The world would be a much better place if most people would give something, you know what I mean? You gotta just give something, what can you, like you said, contribute along the journey. I have a platform. The UFC for me is a platform. So just because I'm not top 5 or top 10 or whatever, doesn't mean anything. I still have a platform. How can I use my platform to help or benefit? Or, God gave me a platform for a reason, not for myself, but for other people as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't really look at everybody else just because you don't have that platform. Somebody else, they don't have your platform. So
yeah. And I'm not, and a lot of people don't have that, they don't have the means or the money. I'm not saying that everybody should do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can, but there's opportunities for everybody. That's why I came to America. I came to this country because the opportunities were just so vast. There's so many opportunities and, taking advantage of it. I went to a high school where we turned out 5 NFL players, just my senior class alone, Major League Baseball players, a UFC fighter, which is me, you know, like, so we all have that we all had that same goal, you know what I mean? Be more than average. Sorry, more than average. Less than don't be average, be more than average.
Yeah, for sure. And first of all, that's incredible. What is it? Five NFL players, how many MLB players?
I would say a couple. I'm not two. My year probably only like one, but in total, a bunch, a bunch. My high school was just it was stacked, you know, and what made it that way is because, you know, we our high school was right in the middle of you know, kind of an impoverished side of the city and a really wealthy side of the city. And then my high school is right in the middle. So you have, you know, wealthy kids going to school with poor kids. And it gives the poor kids like myself um, opportunities to see that, because if you grew up not ever seeing success or knowing anybody around that is successful, then you grow up kind of feeling like success is impossible. But if you grow up with people around you that are successful, it becomes more obtainable. You're like, okay, it becomes comfortable. So the idea of self-sabotaging when you get to a higher level, the reason why we self-sabotage is because we constantly get let down over and over and over again. And we constantly get these things taken away from us because we think that we can become successful and then something happens to take us away from our goals. So now if you surround yourself with people who are successful, that thought is different. Now you're like, okay, I can actually be successful. All these people around me are successful. So then you self-sabotage less.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't want to be disingenuous. I told you, you know, about 15 minutes, but I'm really enjoying this conversation. And I think you make a very, very good point. You know, I think nowadays what I see is, you know, it's hard to not live up to expectations. So
Yes.
instead of pushing yourself to do that, people will go look for excuses as to why I can't do that, why it's not my fault, why somebody else or the world has made it impossible for me to do that. When you said, like, when you got somebody right next to you and they're doing it, it's really, really hard to make excuses. It's really, really hard
It's
to say, I
very
can't do it. They're doing it.
exactly. And then
You
it
are
becomes
who your friends are.
yeah, man, and it becomes comfortable, you know what I mean? It becomes less of an imaginary idea and it becomes more real. And the more real that thing is every single day, the easier it is for you to achieve your goal. Because if you know, when you don't have anything, you're constantly down, you don't have anything to look to look upon. And then there are a lot of people that are successful without anybody being successful around them. You know what I'm saying? But I think in my opinion, I think it's much easier to be successful when you have people around you that are doing successful things. You know, birds of a feather flock together is the saying. That's what my freshman high school teacher told me that, and I never forget it.
Damn, I love it. And I'm a corny motivational quote guy also. My girlfriend hates it. She'll bag on me all the time. And first of all, man, you need a podcast. You need a regular appearance on a show where you're just spitting your mind. People
Dude,
can really learn from that.
not to pat myself on the shoulder, but I hear that a lot. Yeah, everybody says that, you know, but that's like, I'm like, man, I can't handle anything else on my plate.
I hear you.
I
I hear
really
you.
can't.
I may, yeah.
No, but not to say that it's not a thing in the future. You know what I mean? Anything's possible. Whatever God has for me, that's what he has for me. You know what I mean? My destiny is already written. I'm a believer in God, and my destiny is already written. So whatever happens on November 6th, it's already written. You know what I'm saying? It's already written in the stars. So whatever is happening, it was designed to happen since the day I was born. Since the day I was born, I was supposed to be here exactly where I am. So that's why I try not to get caught up on it's so easy, especially as a fighter. You know, I get caught up sometimes on the what if, like, oh man, it's my last fight. What if I just, you know, not chose to drop my hands and shoot a takedown? I wouldn't have got kneed or whatever, but I was supposed to get kneed because I was supposed to come to Vegas and I was supposed to learn from that. And I was supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Everything happens. It's like domino effects. Everything's supposed to happen that way. And I know a lot of people don't believe that, but I do. You know, I truly believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to drop another quote, but the only difference between a stepping stone and a stumbling block is how you use it. So, you know, a loss, it could be a stumbling block, but it could also be a stepping stone. And
It's
on that note, before I let you go, if you had to guess, because I'm a believer as well, but if you had to guess, what would you say? Ode Osborne will have the UFC flyweight title being wrapped around his waist by Dana White on blank. What date?
I'm not even gonna guess. I can't do it. If you had asked me this question 2 years ago, I would have said I would have gave you a specific date and how it was gonna happen. But 2 years ago, I wasn't as mature as I was today, and I've learned that it's impossible to guess those things. It is impossible, um, because like I said, I have no idea what God has planned for me. I have no idea, and you can't know. You just gotta believe and have faith. And it's a scary thing. Even it's a very scary thing. Like even for me right now, like knowing that if I lose this fight, it could be my last fight or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many things that could keep you away from like keep you away from your goals. But you just gotta have faith and believe that God put you here for a reason.
Amen. And before I let you go, I mean, the mic is yours. Anything you want to say to the fans? Anybody you want to thank? Anything that's on your mind that you think people need to hear? The mic is yours. Go for it.
Well, just trust in God and follow your passion. Do not drive for money. Drive for passion. Money leads to a dead end. If you work for money, at the end of the day, you're gonna be miserable. If you work for passion, at the end of the day, you're gonna be happy and you're gonna have money.
I don't know if you're a rap fan, but Sue Surf said know your worth or you're only worth what they pay you. So yeah,
I am.
live
Yes, sir,
live what
man.
you love.
Yeah.
Anyways, one more time, November 6th at Madison Square Garden, UFC 268. Tune in. The first fight will be Ode Osborne getting the finish against CJ Vergara. Ode, thank you so much for taking the time. This was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, man.